All right. So, what I'm going to do today is talk a bit about how do we appropriately use Wikipedia when we're doing research. And one of the things I want to remind everyone is that when you are doing a research paper, as an instructor, I do not want to see Wikipedia cited as one of your sources. And this is very important to bear in mind because if you do cite Wikipedia, the general assumption is that you have not done sufficient work finding good sources that are reliable and thorough and will provide new information about your topic. And so when I'm talking about Wikipedia today, what I'm talking about is how do you use Wikipedia in order to guide the research process as opposed to putting something directly into your paper. So today, what I'm going to do is look at different types of topics one could do and how you would use Wikipedia to narrow that down. Now, as you'll notice, I've got the Wikipedia page here for airplanes because growing up, I loved airplanes. I still do. I read about them all the time. I watch videos about them. I follow the news about them. I would say I don't think it's quite an obsession, but I am really excited that my son loves paper airplanes, so I can teach him all about them. Um, and something else to remind you is that when you are writing a research paper, especially for English 101 or English 102, is I strongly encourage you to choose a topic that you're passionate about. Just like for me, airplanes are one of my passions. And so if I was going to choose a topic to write about, this would be a good one to do. Now, airplanes, however, are very, very, very broad in terms of topics. We're talking, powered, fixed wing aircraft, jet engines, propellers, rocket engines, recreation, transport, military, research. There are so many different applications for airplanes that if I was going to write a paper about them, I would need to first narrow it down to what I want to focus on. And this is where the opening paragraph of Wikipedia can be very helpful. All of these different things that I have just marked up remind me of aspects of aircraft that I am interested in. For example, transportation. Uh, most Americans have flown on aircraft. I have, I don't know how many airline flights I've been on, but it's a good number. Now, military is something that I have a small amount of experience with because I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne. And so I've actually jumped out of a C-130. I've felt the parachute, pull open and kind of yank my back as I'm getting ready to fall from the sky. And because of that experience, if I was going to write about military aircraft, I would have personal insights that I could provide in addition to the research requirements. Now, going down a little bit further, uh, you know, we can also go down, these opening paragraphs, talking here about the Wright brothers. Uh, the Wright brothers, of course, the they built the first working aircraft that could actually have powered flight. And so if I wanted to talk about the history of aircraft, the Wright brothers might be a topic that's narrow enough that I could focus on that. Now, here's something surprising I wasn't aware of. Apparently, George Cayley was working on uh, ideas for aircraft back in 1799, which is earlier than I realized that this work was being done. And so, if I was going to look at the history, I might go back to that point. Now, of course, oops, um, World War One and World War Two changed aircraft production dramatically. And since those are areas I'm also interested in just from personal reading, those might be things I would look into. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about what to do once you've refined your topic. So I'm going to pause this for now, and I'll talk to you again in a moment.